You're listening to the Dental Patient Pipeline podcast, the show designed to help dentists like you attract more patients, grow your clinic, and build a thriving practice. Hosted by Mark Vernam, a leading expert in dental marketing, this podcast brings you proven strategies, real-world success stories, and no-fluff insights to turn clicks into booked appointments and prospects into loyal patients. If you're looking to grow your clinic to the next level, you're in the right place. Now, here's your host, Mark Vernam.
Hi, I'm Mark Vernam, and welcome to today's episode of Dental Patient Pipeline. If you're looking to grow your clinic, you're in the right place. We're diving into a strategy that, honestly, too many practices overlook: referrals. Let's talk about why referrals should be the backbone of your patient acquisition strategy. Word of mouth marketing, it's really the oldest form of advertising, and turns out it's also the most effective. When someone recommends your clinic, they've already done half the work for you. That trust, it's priceless. You don't need to convince a referred patient that you're worth it. Someone they already trust has done that for you. And get this, referrals don't just bring in new patients, they bring in better patients. Patients who come to you because of a referral tend to be more loyal, more engaged, and honestly, they're just easier to work with. They're not shopping around because someone else has already sold them on your value. Here's another big win: referrals slash your acquisition costs. You're not spending money on Google ads or throwing time into a big SEO campaign for these patients. They're coming to you because of your existing network. It's cost effective and super sustainable over the long term. But what I love most is this: they stay. Referred patients aren't just a quick win, they're long term. These are the patients who tend to come back, who trust you more deeply, and who, over time, often spend more. I mean, what business wouldn't want that? Let's talk about how to actually earn those patient referrals, because here's the thing: being good enough just isn't enough. Patients don't refer because they're just satisfied. They refer when they're genuinely delighted. That's when they're motivated to talk about you, to tell their friends, and to recommend you without hesitation. And honestly, it's not always about doing something huge. In my experience, it's the small details that make the biggest impact. A warm smile at reception, a personal greeting that makes them feel valued, and a smooth, seamless process from booking the appointment to follow-up. Each of these touch points counts more than you might imagine. But then there's this idea of surprising and delighting, right? A little unexpected gesture can go a long way toward creating that wow experience. Think a quick thank you card after their first visit, maybe sending them a birthday message, or even a small loyalty reward like free teeth whitening after, a year of consistent visits. Those things stick with patients and really elevate their perception of your practice. And let's not forget about your team. Your receptionist, the dental assistants, the hygienists. Every single person plays a part in delivering that 5-star patient experience. If just one of those interactions isn't up to scratch, it reflects on the whole practice. On the flip side, when the whole team is aligned and focused on that exceptional experience, patients notice and they talk about it. Now, here's something that gets overlooked all the time: patients won't refer you unless they know how. It's one thing to ask them for a referral, but it's another to actually make the process easy. That could mean having a simple referral card they can give to a friend, or maybe just making sure your staff reminds patients about the program during their visit. Don't assume they'll figure it out on their own. Here's the thing: most referral programs fail not because the idea isn't good, but because they're, too complicated, or maybe they're not enticing enough, or they just don't get mentioned. It's frustrating, right? You spend all this effort creating a system and then it sort of fizzles out because patients don't even know it exists, let alone how to use it. The secret to success, and I say this over and over, is simplicity. If your referral program takes more than a minute to explain, that's a problem. It has to be simple. Think about it. A clear refer a friend, get a reward system, no hoops to jump through, no confusion. Patients should get it instantly. Now, what about the incentives? This is where you really need to know your audience. Some practices see great results offering discounts like maybe 10% off their next treatment. Others try things like gift cards or even free treatments. For example, a complimentary teeth whitening or a free Botox touch-up might be exactly what gets people excited, but here's the key. It has to feel valuable. If the reward feels insignificant, patients won't bother. Then there's timing. And this is huge. You don't just blurt out, hey, can you refer someone at any random moment? There's a right time to ask, like right after a patient's had a great experience, maybe after a pain-free procedure, or when they're thanking you for how smoothly everything went. That's the moment when they're already feeling good about your clinic and they're way more likely to say yes. And finally, let's talk about tracking, because what's the point of a referral program if you don't know which patient referred who or if you forget to reward them? It doesn't have to be complicated though. A simple system like a referral card with the referrer's name on it or even a note in your practice management software can make all the difference. Just something that makes it easy to follow up and say, thank you for referring, and deliver that reward. So we've talked about building a referral program, but how do you actually encourage those referrals without coming across as pushy? That's really the heart of it, right? You want people to refer because they genuinely want to, not because they feel, I don't know, obligated or uncomfortable. One of the easiest and most effective ways is training your team to ask for referrals naturally. I can't stress this enough. It's not about being salesy, it's about being genuine. For example, after a patient thanks your staff for a great visit, your receptionist might casually say something like, we'd love it if you told your friends about us. It's simple, soft, and it puts the idea out there without any pressure. And here's the thing. When patients do refer, you need to make them feel appreciated. People love to feel valued for their efforts. That could mean sending a handwritten thank you note, maybe a small gift, or even just acknowledging them publicly, like a little shout out in your email newsletter or your clinic's social media. It's those little touches that build loyalty and keep referrals coming. Speaking of social media, that's another goldmine for referrals. Encouraging patients to share their stories online can be incredibly powerful. A quick post about their positive experience or maybe a photo they tag your clinic in, it gets their wider network to notice you. And don't be shy about asking patients to leave a review on platforms like Google or Facebook. Not only do great reviews boost your online reputation, but funnily enough, people who leave positive reviews are more likely to tell their friends about you too. Then we have the tools you use to actually facilitate referrals. This is an interesting one. Some practices still swear by printed referral cards, and honestly, they work. But we're in a digital age now. QR codes or even referral links sent by text message can make things a lot easier and faster. The key is to pick the method that aligns with your patient's habits. If your audience is tech savvy, go digital. If not, good old-fashioned cards might be the way to go. Either way, it has to be simple, something they can share with minimal effort. And finally, reviews. You gotta love them. They're such a low-hanging fruit when it comes to referrals. Happy patients who leave you glowing Google or Facebook reviews often refer others without you even needing to ask. It sort of just happens. Those reviews act like a secondary endorsement. They validate what the patient's telling their friends. Now, here's something I see all the time. A great referral program, but no system to actually keep it running smoothly. And honestly, when referrals are left to chance, you're missing opportunities. It's one of those areas where a little automation can go a long way. Think of it not as taking out the human touch, but as amplifying your efforts. Let's start with communication. One of the easiest ways to encourage referrals on autopilot is, through automated follow-ups. Email and SMS are your best friends here. Imagine your patient right after their appointment gets a thank you message that also mentions your referral program, something heartfelt but also direct. If you loved your experience, share it with a friend. That kind of message can keep referrals top of mind without you having to lift a finger. Now, not every patient is going to be equally likely to refer, so this is where segmentation comes in. If you can, identify your most engaged patients, the ones who consistently show up, pay on time, and leave great feedback. These are your, you know, referral champions. Target them first with your automated campaigns. A tailored message like, "We value you as one of our best patients," can make them more motivated to share your practice with others. And don't forget to integrate referrals into your other marketing efforts. Your website, for example, should have a clear section explaining the referral program, maybe even with a few success stories. Same goes for your emails and social media. Shout out a patient who referred someone new. That kind of recognition, it snowballs. People see others getting involved and they want to be part of it too. Speaking of snowball effects, that's exactly what a well-oiled referral system does. The more you automate, the more consistent the results. Even a modest referral program, when automated and promoted strategically, can eventually generate a steady flow of new patients without needing constant intervention. Like, imagine a rolling snowball. Starts small but grows bigger and bigger over time. All right, so you've got your referral program up and running, but how do you know if it's actually working? This is where tracking your metrics is non-negotiable. And I'm talking about, the basics first, how many referrals you're getting per month and how well those referrals are converting into actual patients. Because if you're not measuring, you can't improve, right? But here's the thing, you got to think beyond just the numbers. A lot of clinics stop at, "Oh, we got 10 referrals this month, great." What you really want to know is, are those referrals sticking around? Are they booking that important first appointment? Are they coming back for follow-ups? It all ties back to the patient journey, and understanding that journey helps you fine-tune your strategy. Now, when it comes to improving your program, A/B testing can be a game changer. If you're offering rewards for referrals, why not experiment a bit? For instance, one group of patients might receive a discount while another gets a gift card. You can see what resonates more. It's not rocket science, it's just testing one thing against another and letting your results tell the story. And let's talk about patient satisfaction for a second, because honestly, most of your referrals are going to come from your happiest patients. This is where surveys or feedback forms can give you big insights. You don't need a long drawn out questionnaire, just a simple, "How was your visit?" With space for additional comments is more than enough. Take that feedback and use it to improve. When patients feel heard and valued, they're much more likely to, sing your praises. But what about unhappy patients? Because they're part of the equation too. If someone has a bad experience, don't ignore it, address it. A quick call to resolve the issue, or maybe even going out of your way to make things right, can turn a negative situation into a positive one. And and guess what? Those patients, if handled well, can end up being some of your most loyal advocates. It's a bit ironic, but it happens all the time. Finally, let's not forget consistency. One big mistake I see is clinics treating referrals like, I don't know, an afterthought. The most successful practices make referrals a core part of their growth strategy. They're not thinking about it as a one-off campaign, but as an ongoing effort. Keep your team trained, keep your system running smoothly, and keep referrals top of mind for your patients. That kind of commitment is what drives sustainable growth. All right, let's wrap things up with an action plan. First, you want to create a referral program that's simple and easy for your patients to understand, something with a clear reward that feels genuinely worthwhile. Keep it straightforward, no complicated steps or confusion. Next, train your team to confidently and naturally ask for referrals. If they're hesitant or awkward about it, patients will pick up on that. But when it's done with a genuine approach, it makes all the difference. Plus, follow up with your happy patients, whether it's through an email or a quick text reminder, right after they've had a great visit. That's the perfect moment to nudge them in a friendly way to refer someone. Don't underestimate the power of online reviews and social media either. Encouraging reviews is a fantastic way to boost your word-of-mouth referrals, and when patients share their positive experiences online, they're amplifying your reach organically. Now, here's a critical point. Track your referral numbers. Keep improving your system over time. Test what rewards work best, refine your process, and always look for opportunities to make it even smoother for patients to refer their friends and family. Remember, Referrals aren't just a part of your growth strategy, they're your ultimate growth strategy. When you make it easy, rewarding, and natural for your patients to refer others, you're not just building your clinic revenue, you're also creating a steady flow of loyal, high quality patients. And all of that comes without pouring more money into ads, which is, quite frankly, what we all want, right? And that's all for today's episode of Dental Patient Pipeline. The strategies we've discussed can transform how your clinic grows, and it's all within your reach. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.